This is Chase Claypool. He's currently a rookie wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are currently the best team in the NFL because they are undefeated. Chase Claypool, in my opinion, has been one of the best rookies all season long. He makes the most of his opportunity despite not always getting the most targets in every game. Mind that he is in such a stacked wide receiver room that he doesn't always get the most targets every game, and he makes the most of every opportunity that he gets. He only has 39 receptions on the season, but he has 559 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. He's averaging about 14 yards per reception. But where did Chase Claypool come from, and what's his story? Chase Claypool's NFL journey would begin at Abbotsford Secondary School in British Columbia, Canada, where he played basketball and football, and he was really good at both, but he was obviously more known for his skills on the gridiron than he was on the basketball court. But on the gridiron at his school, he set numerous school receiving records and caught the eye of many Power 5 programs in the United States. Because of Claypool's very good high school football career, he would rack up 13 offers from Division I programs during his high school career, coming from Notre Dame, Michigan, Mississippi State, Nebraska, Nevada, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Rice, Rutgers, San Diego State, Tennessee, Utah, and Washington. In the 2016 recruiting class, Chase Claypool was ranked as the 172nd best player in the nation, the 33rd best receiver in the nation, but the best player coming out of British Columbia, Canada, and a 4-star recruit according to the 247 Sports composite. With all his offers, one school stood out the most to him, and that was the school in South Bend, Indiana, and he decided to join Notre Dame to be a part of the Fighting Irish football team. In the 2016 college football season at Notre Dame, Chase Claypool, who was a true freshman, would primarily be a backup. He appeared in 8 games for the Fighting Irish, primarily being on special teams, where he had 11 total tackles on the season. But on the offensive side of the ball, he had 5 receptions for 81 yards, averaging about 16 yards per catch and 0 touchdowns. This season was not the best for Notre Dame football at all, especially if you look back at their history, as this season they ended up going 4-8. In the 2017 college football season, Chase Claypool, now a sophomore at Notre Dame, would have a lot bigger role on the football team. He would actually start in 8 of the 11 games he played in and have 29 receptions, 402 receiving yards, averaging about 13.9 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns on the season. The Notre Dame football team would also improve drastically from the season prior to the season now. They went from 4-8 in 2016 to 10-3 in 2017, including a win in the Citrus Bowl over LSU and a 21-17 victory, and in the final AP poll, they were ranked as the 11th best team in the nation. In the 2018 college football season, Chase Claypool would appear as a starting receiver for the first time in his career for a full season as a junior now. He would appear in all 13 games for the Fighting Irish, having 50 receptions, 639 receiving yards, averaging about 13 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns on the season. In this season, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish would actually go undefeated in the regular season, being 12-0 going into the college football playoff, where they would actually lose to Clemson in a 30-3 L. In the 2019 college football season at Notre Dame, for the first time in his career, now as a senior, Chase Claypool would be the main option for the pass game for Notre Dame. He led the team this season in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. For the season, he played in all 13 games, and he had 66 receptions for 1,037 receiving yards, averaging about 16 yards per reception, and 13 touchdowns. He balled out. In the 2019 college football season, Notre Dame would end up going 11-2 in the season, including a bowl game victory in the Camping World Bowl, where they completely dominated Iowa State in a 33-9 victory, and in the final AP poll, they were ranked 12th in the nation. Going into the 2020 NFL Draft, Chase Claypool was seen as one of the top receivers in his class, despite it being so stacked with receivers like Henry Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, and Jerry Jeudy, just to name a few names. But Chase Claypool was seen as someone that possibly could have been selected in the first round if it was late, but was mostly seen as a second round pick just due to how stacked it actually was. In the 2020 NFL Combine, Chase Claypool probably had the best combine out of all the receivers and maybe one of the best combines in combine history. He stood in at 6'4", 229 pounds. He ran a 4.42 40-yard dash, had 19 reps on the bench press, had a 40.5 vertical jump, and a 10.5 feet broad jump. The dude went insane, and he posted numbers similar to Calvin Megatron Johnson, and he's about his size as well, which coined him the nickname Mapletron. Despite having a very strong season at Notre Dame in the 2019 college football season and an extremely good NFL combine, Chase Claypool would not hear his name called on the first day of the NFL draft. Chase Claypool would not have to wait that long though on day 2, as he was selected with the 49th pick in the second round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chase Claypool will be joining a Steelers team that has not been in the playoffs the past couple seasons, but they had the potential to win most of their games and definitely go to the playoffs in this upcoming season if they could stay healthy. I mean, he's joining a very stacked receiving room that had Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, and James Washington, and they also added another receiving target in Eric Ebron, and they have James Conner coming out of the backfield with one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, of Big Ben Roethlisberger. Despite Chase Claypool going to a team that is already stacked with offensive weapons, that did not stop him from taking the most of his opportunities and balling out, whether he's receiving the ball or rushing the ball. On the receiving ends of things, he has 39 total receptions so far for the season with 559 receiving yards, averaging about 14 yards per receptions, and 8 total receiving touchdowns. And even though he is a receiver, he will still receive the ball in the red zone, sometimes as a handoff on a jet sweep, and he has scored a couple times off of it. So far, his rushing numbers are 9 attempts for 22 yards, averaging about 2.4 yards per carry, with 2 total rushing touchdowns to make his all-purpose touchdowns be 10 total on the season. So far in the 2020 NFL season, Chase Claypool has now emerged as one of the top rookies so far this season. But despite being one of the better rookies and having some of the better production out of all the rookies in the NFL currently, not many people are looking at him as a top 10 rookie so far this season, which I think is extremely disrespectful to Claypool. I mean, currently right now, Chase Claypool actually leads the Steelers in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. And he's in an offense that has a lot of offensive weapons, such as James Washington, Eric Ebron, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, James Conner, just to name a few players. It's not easy to compete to get catches with all these players who are also very good. And I think it's just doesn't really make much sense to me that he's not in a lot of people's top 10 rookies so far this season, when he's clearly balling out and showing that he is a top 10 rookie. Well guys, if you guys liked the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.